Okay, welcome back. Right, from where I left off, we're using a Yahoo library here, and the method we're using, the function we're using is stringify. We're using a JSON stringify, and this transforms the array that we're building here into JSON data, which we can then send over to our PHP file. So once we've stringified the variable, we then run in an AJAX command, and we're sending it over as post. We're setting the cache to false and the URL to save.php. The data is we're just sending over the tile variable because that contains all the data for the map. We're then setting process data to false and a content type to application/JSON, and then we're just sending out an alert when we're done. And if we come back here, if you want to just have a look at the URL at the top here, this is where I've got how to send the multi-dimensional variables over to PHP, in case you want to read up more on it. Right, so if we now come over to our save.php file, the first two lines, we're first getting the file content of the PHP input. And the reason we're doing this is because it's necessary to read the JSON string directly from the request body, which is what that PHP input does. And we're storing that in the data variable, and we're then using the JSON decode function to decode the JSON data, and then we start building our XML file. So we start off by declaring an XML variable, and we're setting the XML header inside of that variable, and we're then running a for each loop. So we're saying for each data of the variable data as v, so we're storing the value of each index of the data, and then we're appending or concatenating onto the XML file. So we're stating that the tile, we're concatenating on the tile, the opening tile tag, sorry. After that, we're putting in a new line break here and writing out the tile class tags, and that contains the class of the tile it's currently situated on. And then we're closing the tile class tag. We're also doing the same thing for the tile state and setting the solid state inside of there. So it'll either set 0 or 1. If it's 1, then the tile's solid. If it's 0, then the tile is you can pass through the tile. And we're closing the tile state tag here before finally closing the tile tag. We're then going to write a new file, and I've named this it should be file .xml. We're then opening that file with the write attribute using fopen, and we're storing that in fh. We write the file. We write the XML data to the fh variable using fwrite before using fclose to close off the file. So if we now build a little map, so here we have my little map. We'll just turn the grid off so we can see it properly, and we'll change the solid tiles. Harder to navigate which tiles you're clicking in when the grid's off. Right, so as you can see, they can't walk on any of these. And now when we go to save, it comes up with a pop-up box of done. We click OK, and what I'll do is I'll just open this up, open the XML file up, and here we go. So this is the output XML file. Each tile is displayed here. So there's 100 tiles being that have been written in. Each tile has its class. So this class here is that tile there, and it has a solid state of 1. It writes this for all of the tiles along the top until we hit this point here, and that's where it hits the second row of tiles, and that's just a vertical wall with a solid state of 1. And then we go into the tile plane, which has a solid state of 0, and that's all these empty this row of empty tiles right here. Right, so now we're able to write our file. We'll go on to working on reading the file and outputting it into our game as an actual map that we can start to navigate around. Once we've done that, we'll come back to the map maker, and we'll start working on naming the map and linking maps together. So until then, I'm going to leave it here, and we'll go back to the game in the next video. Right, before I leave you, if you want to discuss anything about this project, you can go over to the forums at tapt-in.net, and that's www.tapt-in.net/forum/13-project_invasion_talk/ and that would bring you to this forum thread. If you want to give the tapt-in, the project space station invasion map maker a go, you can just go over to www.tapt-in.net/mapmaker, and the map maker's here ready for you to play about on. So I'll see you in the next video.